Alright, much Abrew about nothing time. Doing something different this week. Against all odds, the winning deck tech was 1v1 Commander. Baral Polymorph. So this week we're heading to the 1v1 Commander League, and this is slightly different than normal because in 1v1 Commander, all the matches are only one game. So one game is all we get each match. So we got to win that one. But we're going to check out this super sweet Baral Polymorph deck and see if we can get some wins. Maybe get some treasure chests. Opponent is on the play. And opponent is also on Baral. Oh, this is bad. Okay. So the problem with this is being on the draw in the Baral mirror means our opponent gets to play Baral first, and we do not. Let's Serum Visions, though. Island to the bottom, Ponder to the top, pass the turn. This might be a 2-minute match. There's Baral. Well, Island and Baral. Pass the turn. Baral versus Baral. What's our opponent got? Or maybe our opponent doesn't have it, and this is going to be an incredibly long, drawn-out match. Well, let's play the Island and Ponder. Merchant Scroll is good. Delay is good. It might be... Ancestral Visions can be good, too, if the game goes long. Question is, do we keep Visions? That's a big question. I think we draw Delay. Definitely draw Delay, so we can leave up 2 counters here. Yeah, I think we'll draw Vision. So let's Merchant Scroll... Visions, Delay. No shuffle. Draw, Delay. Pass the turn. So because Baral makes our spells cheaper, we have a Delay and Rune snag here. Sure. Flash of Insight just cycles, basically. Opponent looks at the top 1 card and puts 1 in their hand. So they basically just get the top card of their library. So this is going to come down to a huge counter war at some point. So play the Island, suspend Visions, pass the turn. The awkwardness of this mirror is we both just have a million counters. So it's going to come down to the Polymorph and who can force through their Polymorph. Also, another big part of this is going to be who can draw the most cards and hit their land drops. Opponent's going to crack their Flooded Strand. Interesting. So this flashes back for 2 and exiling X blue cards. So right now it doesn't do much of anything. So 6 mana is Polymorph territory. Opponent goes Jace. Well, let's Rune snag Jace. Opponent dispels, and then delay the dispel. Hope our opponent doesn't have Force of Will. And our opponent scoops up the game. Went shields down for the Jace, and well, I thought that was going to be a long, crazy, drawn-out match, but we only needed to win 1 counter battle, and we did. So, sweet. Alright, on to round 2 of our Baral League. Alright, we get to play first, which is good. Opponent, Zurgo. Alright, this is interesting. So, this is Mono Red versus Mono Blue. And this match is usually pretty interesting. So, this hand is probably not keepable. Mox Diamond makes us discard a land, and we can't do that, so I think we have to mulligan. Oh geez, this is close. Well, this is almost the nut draw. If it wasn't for the possibility of getting our Baral burnt, well, we're going to put Confound to the bottom. We kind of want another land. What we want to do here is basically draw a land. Mountain, Zurgo, most likely. Yep, there's the Zurgo. Opponent passes. There's a land. So I think since we drew the land, we're just going to pass the turn. Next turn, we can play Baral and leave up a counter to protect it. And hopefully that'll be enough. Opponent gets in with Zurgo. Our counter is only Flusterstorm, but Flame Rifts are phased down to 24. Well, play the Island. Play Baral. Pass the turn. So if we untap, we get to get an Emrakul, win the game. Opponent gets in, no blocks. Kinda lucky to just have our Polymorph in hand. Riftbolt suspended. Oh, sweet. Well, that makes it easy. So we play Scalding Tarn. Polymorph, our Baral. And that's the GG's. This deck is so absurd. So absurd. Well, on to round 3. We might actually get some treasure chests to crack open at the end of this. This whole league is going to take us like 10 minutes. Oh, opponent. Oh, God. Oh, good Lord. Gaddock Teague. That could be a problem. This hand is not very good. We have double polymorph, but we're not going to be able to cast it because of Gaddock Teague. I almost think that this deck is designed to hose Baral. Let's mulligan. Okay. We'll keep this. Repeal, we will... it doesn't get around Gaddock Teague. I think we'll keep it. Start with our Gemstone Caverns. Exile, I guess Gitaxian Probe. Forest for our opponent. And Llanowar Elves. Well, let's just Island and Repeal. Pass the turn. Hope our opponent doesn't get down Gaddock Teague here. If our opponent gets down Gaddock Teague, it just... Alright, Ghost Quarter does not let them cast Gaddock Teague. Unless they're going to Ghost Quarter themselves. Wow. Okay. Sure. We will take an island over the Gemstone Caverns. Replace the Llanowar Elves. Now I feel like we're in good shape. Oh man, we would like one more land. If we brawl, we can't... Alright, let's just pass. Maybe we can cycle Complicate to counter something. That would be the best. There's a castle. Ooh, yeah, we will cycle this. Counter the Thalia and draw a card. That is... Oh, and it's a land. Alright, now we're in business. Now we're definitely in business, because we get to play our Brawl and leave up Counterspell. That's where we wanted to be. Opponent has a land. Lightning Greaves, sure. Oh man, come on, cast your commander and let us Force Spike it. There it is. Force Spike, Gaddock Teague. We get to loot. I think we discard the island. I think Force is important enough that we need to keep it, even though we want to hit our land drops. Oh boy. Alright, pass the turn. There's Synthetic Destiny. Opponent plays land. Prowling Sepperpard. Alright, that's not great. Equips. Now, that means we can't counter Gaddock Teague. Alright, so we're going to have to stroke here. X2. Hope we hit a land. We do not. Land? Well? Oh boy. Alright, Proteus Staff, pass the turn. This gets around Gaddock Teague. If they have a creature that can destroy an artifact, that's very bad. Cast out. Force of Will. Exiling. Confound. And our opponent scoops it up! Whoo! They know the Emerald's coming! We got the beautiful masterpiece, Force of Will. Sweet. Yeah, well, we are just going to absolutely crush this deck. We're up to 3-0, which means we're going to get some treasure chests. Alright, on to round 4. Going for that 5-0. We get to play first. And we're up against Brea. We got a mulligan. Oh dear. Oh dear. 5-0 dream is dying with the mulligans. Going to 5. Alright, that's all we can do. We'll keep it. Well, there's Mass Polymorph. So let's play an island. Pass the turn. Probe is kind of nice. Let's just see if the coast is clear. Opponent plays a tap land. Alright, let's probe. Opponent does have swords. Armageddon, Damnation, Narset. Okay. They don't have white mana, though. Well, I think we're going to be greedy. Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Get an island. We're going to run it out there. If our opponent draws an untapped white source, then they can Path Brawl, and that's pretty bad. No white mana. That's good. Now we're kind of in business. Island. Get in with Brawl. Pass the turn. The other issue is Damnation actually kills our Emrakul. Like, we could Emrakul next turn, but Dust Bowl, okay. Oh, cast Damnation. If our opponent casts Damnation, I think we win. There's Damnation, so we Spell Pierce. We get to loot. Discard. I guess Repulse. And I think we just go for it. Island. Mass Polymorph. What the? Oh my. Modo. Well, there goes our 5-0. Well, that's a good lesson. Modo does not work like normal Magic Online. The ruling on Baral in Polymorph says that polymorph effects will still work if it goes to the command zone, because the command zone is the exile zone, etc., etc., etc. But it does not work that way on Magic Online. So if you play Baral, and we're going to lose our 5-0 because of this, if you play Baral, you need to actually set it. Opponent has Vampiric Tutor. You have to actually set it so. Wow. So apparently you have to set Baral so it goes to exile, not to the command zone, which is, I believe, incorrect. I will probably look up the ruling to make sure it is incorrect, but I believe it is incorrect. Crack Misty, get an island, replay Baral. That's game, though. Our opponent drew a counter. Cavern of Souls. Opponent plays Brea. Remove Soul. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, that's game. And just for clarification, oh, this is Synthetic Destiny. Let's see. Well, it doesn't say it for Mass Polymorph, but the ruling is the same. So Synthetic Destiny, they just haven't added it. And you can see, where does it say it? If you put your commander in the command zone instead of exiling it, it will still count towards the number of creatures you put onto the battlefield. Which is exactly what we did. And we lost because of it. We can still get some treasure chests. We're not going to get the 5-0 thanks to Modo bugs. That was disappointing. Alright, on to round 5 with Baral. Well, we'll be aware of the Modo bugs for this last round. Oh, that's so disappointing. The opponent is playing Kurum and Vile Smasher the Fierce. And we are going to have to mulligan this, I believe. We can't keep a one-lander, even with Force Spike. Well, let's mulligan. And this isn't great, but we can try it. I think we'll put Island to the bottom for now. Marsh Flats for our opponent, cracks it. Gets a Watergrave tapped. Well, let's Island and Preordain. Island to the bottom. Well, I guess we can keep one island. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain and passes. Ugh. All of our counters deal with non-creatures, which means our opponent gets to play this Vile Smasher if they want to, which is not ideal. Yep, well, let's think twice. Another island. Well, play the island. Cast Baral. Pass the turn. Wasteland, not very good against us. Opponent goes to Lightning Bolt. Well, let's negate. And opponent has Mana Leak. Alright. Well, they managed to kill our Baral, who did not have a land. We have all the lands. Well, Suspend Ancestral. Pass the turn. We gotta wait at least until next turn to Baral. Opponent draws a land. Gets in for 2. Well, Flashback, think twice. Visions, taken down. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Shackles, A. Seems good. Let's just play the island and pass. I think what we want to do here is Evacuation after our opponent plays this Kurum, or even if our opponent plays nothing. Opponent gets in, and that should let us force through our stuff, hopefully. So let's Evacuation, bounce the commander. Opponent dazes. Can't pay. But now we get to play an island, play Shackles. Seriously? Our opponent had Force plus blue card? Good God. Well, our opponent just kind of has it all. Merchant Scroll. Now he might just be dead. Wow, that's unreal. I guess we could have Merchant Scrolled for a counter first, but that seems so unlikely that our opponent was just mono counter spells. Well, I guess we take Mystical Tutor, cast Mystical Tutor, take Polymorph, and pass the turn. If our opponent draws a land, we could just be dead. That's 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Yeah. Well, looks like we might end up with the 3-2. Oh, that bug. That bug last round. Pass the turn. Well, I mean, I guess maybe the bug is a good thing because it provides a good flashing warning sign about if you decide to play this deck, which is, I think, the best deck in 1v1 Commander right now. Most played deck, at least. That's definitely something you want to be aware of because it costs you matches. Like, it literally goes from your 95% to win the game to 95% to lose the game when that bug happens. So there is a workaround, but it's still a bug because it doesn't work as intended. And I wonder what happens if you do it the other way. Do you just lose Baral for the rest of the game? Are you just out of luck? Opponent gets in with Vial Smasher. Ancestral taken down. How many turns on Ancestral? Next turn. Oh, this is so sketchy. I think we got to play Brawl, though. Pass the turn. Hope we keep living. Opponent has Smother, which happens to be the perfect amount of mana for us not to be able to counter it. If it was 1 mana, we could counter it. If it was 3 or more mana, we could counter it. But that is the exact amount of mana we can't counter. And now we're probably dead to this Vial Smasher. Well, we get Ancestral Visions. Draw a bunch of cards. Opponent goes to Remand. Well, I guess we got to counter Remand. Drop to 8. Island. Yeah, this doesn't do it. Yeah, we're dead. Dead. Opponent gets to play their Commander, which hits us for 5 and Vampiric Tutor. Yeah, that does it. Wow. Well, looks like we end up with the 3-2. This match we lost legitimately. We just kind of got buried under this Vial Smasher, and our opponent had a million free counters. They had the Force and the Daze and the Mana Leak, which pretty much just buried us. Opponent gets in. Not going for the kill. I mean, none of this matters. We get to cast Baral. And we just don't have a way. Yep. 9, 11 damage. No stifles or anything. Oh, well, that's Baral in 1v1 Commander. So let's go crack open this treasure chest, and then we will wrap up the deck. So, should have more treasure chests. Kinda got punished by the bug. Let's open one of these. And we get nothing. Whirler Virtuoso, Emerald Bruiser, 30 play points. I mean, 30 play points isn't bad, but it's not exciting. Uncommons and play points is not what you're hoping for, even though 30 play points is worth more than the typical treasure chest. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.